Oksanochka Samoilova, 38 years old, from Ukhta. Be sure to write in the comments how you feel about Oksanochka Samoilova, because it's immediately obvious that for the most part, she is loved by young girls because she offers them the dream of a wonderful family. That you too, a girl from Ukhta, can get married even if you're not beautiful. Not ugly. I can't call her ugly before her plastic surgeries, but rather, well, quite ordinary. Just a somewhat pretty girl. And here, by the way, is a big question. Let's get distracted for a moment. Should you do all these procedures and turn into like one of those Instagram clones, but so to speak, supposedly more beautiful, right? Or should you stay true to yourself, because back then, you have to admit, her face was still unique. Today, she seems much more striking and impressive, and public figures, people who get plastic surgery, always become hostages to that plastic surgery, because that's what draws attention to them. So roughly speaking, if Kim Kardashian hadn't gotten that damn butt, or Michael Jackson hadn't had his nose done 135 times and so on, there are plenty of examples, maybe they wouldn't have been so popular. Michael Jackson would have stayed an ordinary black man and Kim Kardashian would have been flat-bottomed, though she wasn't actually. But in general, this exaggeration fantasy, it always adds to their popularity. So take note if you want, get yourself a butt like Kim Kardashian, or cut off your nose, and then you'll be more popular. But at what cost? There's still a big question here, as they say. Are you ready to deal with these side effects? But the point is, even now, for example, as I'm filming this video, I'm putting on this really bright look just to keep your attention, so to speak. Anyway, let's move on to our Oksanoshka. Naturally, just like with many public figures, her look changes dramatically before and after. We'll mainly judge the after, since we no longer remember the before. Before, a girl arrived from, well, wow, the 30th. How old was she then? She was young. Tell me, was she an escort or not? Or are those just some rumors? Please write, is there any proven fact that Oksana Samoilova was involved in escorting, that she was part of some organizations? Write to me, my dear, because I have no idea. I haven't done any investigation, and these are just some rumors. Does she look like an escort in general? Yes, probably. The only question I have is that she shouldn't be an escort, at least not with one who's been around a lot. Why? Because after all, escorts usually have not steroids, but hysterical narcissistic traits at their core, like Samoilova. She has them very clearly. Yes, 2 traits. But more likely something related to borderline personality disorder. It would be some kind of little sociopath, something like Bonnie, yes, completely reckless, something that lacks any kind of hyper-control, lacks pragmatism. So these are people, these are girls who live in the here and now, and they don't care at all about what will happen tomorrow. Samoilova is still quite a lady. Well, with that kind of personal responsibility, with such calculated actions, you know. That's why she doesn't fit the escort girl type. I've heard many of those rumors. Well, anyway, that's how it is. That's the situation. And she sells this beautiful dream to little girls because her main audience, yes, is girls who are 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. That's her audience. And as a businesswoman, of course, she's a total zero. She tried to sell them some cosmetics. Failed, some dresses, failed, something else, just a little bit. She dabbled a bit in online scamming, yes, walked a little on the razor's edge, but she wasn't jailed, unlike other info fraudsters. She realized she shouldn't stay there, so she quickly ran to the show. Actually, let's give her some credit. We started right away with info fraud, but let's praise the woman a little. She is definitely a professional. A perfectionist, a control freak, yes, a real control freak. She really loves to control everything, and she always says so in every interview, though there aren't that many, by the way.
I have some inner, concerns about losing control, about the state of losing control. Everything has to be under my control.
She is actually quite a reserved person, and it's kind of like a pseudo-intimacy. I'm waiting for all of you in my psychotherapy group, where there are a huge number of videos that I've recorded over the past year. And this entire library that I've created over the year is available to you at a very modest price, literally for the cost of a cup of coffee. In Moscow, that's the current price of a cup of coffee. The group link is in the description below. There we have videos, we have metaphorical cards, there are meditations, various exercises, and we are always in touch with you with voice exercises. Every day you receive something very necessary and useful from me. I'm always in touch with you there, non-stop. We have a very friendly community. No one hates anyone. Everyone writes whatever they want. Yes, all their thoughts, their feelings, sensations, associations, and so on and so on. This is a full-fledged psychotherapeutic group with interesting training. Every 2 weeks, we cover a new topic. It's never too late to join us, and it's just a subscription that you can cancel at any time if you want. The link is below in the description. She's actually quite a private person, and it's kind of like a pseudo-intimacy, but that's not really the case. Yes, she can show her husband in an unflattering way, and she can basically exploit her children. We'll talk about that a bit later, we see it. This poor girl wants to be by herself, but she drags her into the frame anyway.
From about 12 to 13 and a half years old, we went through extremely difficult times, really terrible ones, and there were suicide attempts.
That's all understandable, but at the same time, she's a very reserved girl, and all of this just seems like excessive openness at first glance. Not at all. She's an extremely reserved person, even closed off from her loved ones. She tends to be detached from her emotions, which is actually typical for narcissists. She distances herself from her feelings. Even her voice is very even. She doesn't have any emotional swings at all. That's it. Very steady.
A wonderful life, simply an amazing life. I want to live like this every day. Seriously, it's the best life.
No, everything is great. It's a bit nasty, kind of like this, yeah, we're not emphasizing anything. Why is she doing this? So that it doesn't hurt. Basically, so that everything doesn't matter, so that everything is indifferent. And she distances herself actually from motherhood, from being her mother's daughter, and from being her husband's wife. She doesn't let anyone close to her heart. She only lets in what's safe. What's safe? It's newborn babies, whom she loves madly and wants to have more and more of, in a way that's hard to understand.
After Davidik was born, I thought, that's it, no more children. I have 3 girls, and now finally a long-awaited boy, a son. And I thought, that's more than enough. Now David is going to be 4 years old. I really love little children, but not older ones.
Only little ones.
She wants to have more and more children. It's not clear how. Although a skinny build like that is actually wonderfully suited to childbearing. But she has her own specific reproductive nuances, so all her children were born by C-section. Let's not go into these intimate details. But I'm curious, what about those scars? Write in the comments if you've given birth this way, especially in large numbers, okay? So it's 1 scar, then a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth. How many times is that possible? I mean, it's still being cut on the uterus each time. Gynecologists, let us know in the comments. Because some people say, oh, you can do them an unlimited number of times. But I just can't believe that. My friend had 3 C-sections. During her 3rd, the doctor asked if they should remove her uterus. But this is the 3rd C-section, and this was said by an obstetrician, gynecologist, a surgeon, right? So, the one who performed the C-section. So it's not really clear what's actually happening with the abdomen. Well, it does recover. She recovers amazingly, I have to say, after all these C-sections. And she wants to have children by an oligarch.
I have a plan B to sell everything and a plan C to marry an oligarch.
Do you still want to have children?
Yes, I would. Definitely 1 child.
And what if the child is from another man?
It's not a big deal. Why would that be scary?
That's right, and my little kitties. Let's keep praising our Oksanochka Samoilova. Good job. Really, she's done a great job. After all, she managed to get out of a tough situation, right? I mean, she came from a troubled family. Her dad was an alcoholic, left her when she was 6. Then she came to Moscow. She's amazing. We really can't help but applaud her. Yeah, she found herself a troubled guy, but what can you do? So obviously she made it thanks to, of course, even a rich Jewish boy who, well, is a rapper, so to speak. That's 7 out of 8.
Exercises, meditations, and video analyses to understand yourself and learn how to cope. In Veronika Stepanova's group, Allow Yourself Success.
Don't judge his vocals. Some like them, some don't. Share your thoughts in the comments. I feel there's been no creativity for a while. It's clear she's earning most of the money and everything relies on her.
It's clear to everyone you're making more money now. At this moment, I'm earning more.
Why actually is she chasing after her? Not because she gave him 4 children or because she's beautiful and wonderful, but because she knows how to earn money in every way she can. She has this wild fear of going back to that unpleasant state, to that shame, poverty, yes, as if she needs to compensate for that shame now by any means, just so she doesn't end up there again. In that unpleasantness, in that ugliness, I was so terrible there, just terrible. And everything was so poor, just, oh my God, such devastation. No. She goes for a troubled guy because, of course, she's codependent. All the women living with addicts here, who are they? You know this very well. It's someone dependent on an addict, a codependent woman, who will do what? She will completely destroy the addict she's with if she doesn't attend special, not courses, but anonymous support groups, yes, which are created specifically for codependents. Their mothers, sisters, usually it's women like that, rescuers. And we both know very well that a codependent woman kind of eats away at her man, so to speak, by pushing him. We're not going to blame her right now, okay? She does some unconscious things that lead him to shave his eyebrows off. Fucking roosters.
Damn roosters, all of you, damn roosters.
By the way, when he was singing that, I understood what that cry of despair was really about. It's like those damn roosters are actually about society as a whole, not about specific people. That's the first thing. And the second thing, pay attention to his fixation. By the way, let's analyze Djigan sometime. I won't focus on her ex-husband right now, but I'll make a separate video about him if you want. Let me know if you need a video about Djigan or not, because our videos about men don't do as well with you, but the ones about women do better. So he actually has an excessive fixation on homosexuality. For him, it's always like everyone is screwing each other in the ass, everyone, well, okay, I have this fixation, I admit it. Yes, that's the case, so to speak. And here it's very interesting. You see once and you see. Got hooked, faggots?
Faggots!
Торчался, петушара.
Suddenly, a father of many children, so to speak, a Jew, yes, a kosher one, is suddenly interested in such details of homosexual life, this blue love. Why? And no, as soon as he goes on a binge, starts using those fucking little roosters immediately start coming out. They just won't leave him alone, you know. So, my dears, let's move on. Regarding Oksana, what do we see? She is distancing herself. She pulls away from everything, so she accuses him, repeating, Dennis doesn't love me.
You never cared about my needs, feelings, emotions, or experiences.
But you don't really love Dennis either. At least you can't give it. I mean, she can't give it to him, and she can't take it either. Not from Dennis, not from her mother, not from her children. She can only get this love and this sense of security from newborns. That's it. That's the only reason why she likes giving birth to these children. By the way, I understand her very well in this, I think. In general, it's kind of cool to get stuck in this. You just keep giving birth. You travel a lot, but I clearly remember when these children were born. Come on, who is a model, really? I beg you. She's not a model. She's not a businesswoman. She's nobody, basically. And not even a blogger. She just films some balloons, these kids' parties. And so she's in this fraudulent Instagram network. I consider Instagram a fraudulent network because if you look at the entire Russian-speaking show business, all the public figures, you see that only scammers are the ones who make it big. If you're not a scammer, you can completely fail in every way. You might get covered in crap there, but you won't make any progress. And I made that million with so much struggle over 15 years, so for me to get blocked for some nonsense, yeah, well, my Instagram got taken down, just saying. So make sure to at least subscribe to my Telegram channel, which hasn't been taken down yet. I hope Pavel Dorf will spare me. So I couldn't do anything there, just nothing. I realized it's a scammer playground I'm standing in. And for them, today she has 5 million, tomorrow 20 million. 35 million, and you realize she has some insane amount of millions because there's just a wild, absolutely outrageous space for all these kinds of criminal activities. And nobody does anything about it. And there are some kind of circular schemes there, you know, Indians, Arabs, these shady people are scheming. So she was a leader. She was basically like a Mama San, the boss, the main one in that place. And all those who have this kind of fraudulent streak, they do really well there on Instagram. And if you don't have it, you can bang your head against Instagram all you want. Just hit your forehead against it and nothing will work out for you. Even though it seems like the content is good, everything is great, everything is done and arranged, still, no. No. And it was also really funny when people tried to run courses on how to promote Instagram. And then it turns out that the person, well, anyway, let's not get into that. It's a sensitive topic. Still, this whole promotion thing, you know, I think you understand perfectly well what I'm talking about right now. Everyone who's listening to me, yes, all of you, it doesn't matter. It could be a gynecologist, a cosmetologist, a surgeon, a dentist, anyone at all. And a person tries to start their own social media, tries to do something, but nothing works out. They had 3 views and they still have just 3 views. But YouTube is more rewarding in this regard. YouTube is more user-friendly. It responds at least there and then. Now, there are also some issues. All right, my dears, let's get back to our Samoilova. What else can we say here? So these little children, they are completely harmless. They really love you. They are very devoted with all their heart and soul. At least during this period of their lives, they won't betray you. And this is basically the only space and field of activity where she can truly give herself. In all other relationships, family, friends, colleagues, she can't give herself anywhere. She is an extremely closed-off person. She keeps everything to herself. God forbid anyone should see any of it. Because otherwise, yes, since the basic feeling is shame, these are in general the kids who didn't come from completely happy families. Yes, they have this shame. It will always gape like a painful special wound that can never be closed by anything.
Mom worked.
Dad was drinking, we remember.
Dad was drinking, yeah?
That is...
But basically, my brother and I lived alone. So when Mom went to work, we were left to ourselves.
Didn't Mom leave anything for you, like soup on the stove for the kids or something? I don't know, no?
Not always.
Not always?
Not always.
And so she's trying to build this facade, right, that she uses to validate herself. Look right. See how beautiful my kids are. See what a rapper husband I have. He gives me a dream. Look at these luxurious parties, gender reveals. One of my kids has a birthday, then another. So I have Lyoshka with ADHD. Let's have a laugh. And here's Orelochka. See, she wants to end her life. Wow.
Birthday, Ariel. It's just 1 minute of shame for Ari. She hates it. She hates attention in general. That's why she doesn't want to sing, perform, and so on. She hates attention on herself. She doesn't understand how to accept it, how to react to it. I mean, she doesn't like it. And this, when everyone is like, happy birthday, this starting candle, it's just like, do you want a moment from my life? Do you want a moment from my life? I'll finish in a second, Daria. Be patient. Be patient.
So she doesn't ask the children whether they want this publicity or not. And by the way, we've talked a lot about this with you. On one hand, it's like you're giving the family and the kids, yes, the opportunity to earn money, and it's quite possible that the child will thank you when they grow up. But it's also quite possible that they might fall into difficult, almost depressive states, you know, those teenage emotional struggles like Ariella, who can't handle being in the public eye. It's hard for her because she still feels that pressure at school, you know, in her social environment. It's not for everyone, really. For example, if we look at the Kardashian sisters whom she tries to emulate, Samoilova is all about imitation. She imitates everyone and everything. She imitates Angelina Jolie. I imitate her the same way. She imitates, well, like Kylie's pink makeup. I'll do the same. She completely copied the whole style. She imitates Kim Kardashian too. I'll dress the same way and go out, I will. I have 3-meter-tall black bodyguards, and I'll get out of this Mercedes or whatever, out of this van. She kept going until coronavirus hit, with paparazzi everywhere. Then some scammers had sold the ticket. So she fooled everyone, saying she was invited, that she came to Paris, to some fashion show, Mota, and then they kicked her out and she flew back home. In short, that's how it is. And accordingly, she actually believes it herself. She creates this kind of false facade around herself, yes, and asserts herself through it. She convinces herself that this is now her life. She looks at her Instagram like, is that me? Yes, yes. Look at this. Wow, really? And that's how it turned out for me. Yes, that's how it happened. And here I have such wealth, such a luxurious house. Oh my God, villas and little goats running around and everything. Gradually, when she feels her views have dropped, her hysterical side naturally emerges along with some narcissistic traits. We'll separate those here. Since she is a woman, most often women in the public eye tend to have two strongly pronounced personality traits. Well, we see that she has classic narcissism and that hysterical side, yes. That is, it's still an attempt to stay in the spotlight by any means, through one outrageous stunt after another, yes. So all of this falls into that general context. Is it hard to live with a woman like that? It's hard. I mean, she still puts pressure on you, and there's just a lot of her. She really has that quality. Still that domineering, controlling side of her. Yes, she's just so relentless in all that drive and activity of hers. Let it be, let her be stuck in this imitation. Basically, if we take any of her photos, any of her reels, yes, shorts or whatever, we'll see that it's just copied one-to-one from something else. So she can't come up with anything on her own. Overall, it works well because she takes advantage of people not having seen it. It's clear that even back then, let's say in the Soviet Union, we had many different composers and writers who passed off these works as their own. And then it turned out that actually it's not Buratino, it's Pinocchio, right? Or, well, there are many examples you already know today. When you travel somewhere abroad and you hear, oh, I know this song. That's our Russian song, but it's not our Russian song. It's not our Russian song. This song is so old, it's hard to even say how old it is, right? But back then, people took advantage of the fact that no one would find out. That iron curtain will never fall, and that's that. And accordingly, Djigan completely copies, so to speak, both his appearance and his creative style. And Oksana Ronald does the same thing. They don't shy away from it, so to speak. We can see that, right? It's kind of like a cover version. That's how it is, my dears. What else can we say here? Well, they're not exactly brilliant, even though she came up with some kind of interesting theory. Not a theory, but a statement, let's say. Djigan knows the entire history of the whole world.
Just so you understand, Djigan knows the entire history of the whole world, literally. All the dates, all the people, all the characters.
Just some complete nonsense, yeah? The history of all peoples, all centuries, the whole world. Djigan with just one brain wrinkle, really. Same as Oksana Samoilova. What can you do? That's the situation.
Which of the Brementown musicians, besides the troubadour, theoretically lived the longest? The Brementown musicians are basically the Beatles, right? What about Paul McCartney? Well, I mean Paul McCartney, John Lennon,
George Harrison,
Ringo Starr, and damn Troubadour, right? Truba? Well,
it sells well, by the way. If you're dumb and determined, then success awaits you. It's practically guaranteed. A dumb and determined person who's not afraid of cameras just keeps going forward. Come on, more. I can sell you some makeup right now if you want, or if you want, we can work on our butts together right now. Or if you want, I can right now, and everything is actually very, well, I don't know. In her case, at least, she made good money from giveaways. Let's take a look. Let's see where this income comes from. She made good money on Instagram. When Instagram got restricted a bit, she started making money from these shows, but of course much less. Well, actually, we can see that from the trips she used to take. I mean, I used to watch and think, wow, look at all that. I really liked the period when Lechka would say all sorts of silly things. I was so touched by Lechka. She was so funny. Now she's grown out of that age and has started to get a bit shy, and that's gone, yes. By the way, actually, a lot of bloggers are kind of hostages to having children because while you're pregnant and giving birth, you keep your audience's attention. Once those kids grow up, nobody cares about them. Instantly. And here it's the same thing, right? She kept having kids over and over again. And this Lyoshka, yes, that was quite an interesting period. I watched whenever she'd say something like that. Well, she was quite funny, of course. So, my darlings. So what else can we say about our Oksana? Regarding the divorce, let's put it this way, of course, she couldn't stand what? Well, that there's this kind of bloated pig lying around here.
He was lying on the couch. Lying on the couch.
On the couch.
Lying on the couch.
He's just lying on the couch.
He's not interested in anything.
Like, you know.
And sometimes he pulls himself together. I'm talking about Deniska, yes. Sometimes he manages to pull himself together, goes to work out, gets in shape, and it seems like everything's fine. He loses control again and turns into a pig. But those injected lips on a man, those dyed eyebrows of his, this kind of metrosexuality, I don't know, it's not that it doesn't suit him, it's just something strange. And you can see that he just wants to smoke a hookah, scratch his balls, and watch some dumb TV show. Something like that, just mess around, do nothing, eat, sleep, just a spoiled, problematic son. So basically, on one hand, his parents were kind of like, oh, we finally got rid of that kid, yeah. But on the other hand, he ended up sort of in the hands of a codependent woman, and it's not really clear. So ideally, he should have gotten, well, let's see, anyway, Jews, in this sense, they don't die. When it comes to drugs, they actually mess things up. They're more resilient, unlike, for example, Russians. So a Russian would have died 133 times already, but Jews don't. Just pay attention if you take, for example, someone like Guff. If he weren't Jewish, he wouldn't be alive. They really do have this kind of resilience when it comes to addiction. They can drink a lot, drink their whole lives. It doesn't seem to bother them. You can see it in their faces with bags under their eyes like they've been drinking. It gets him really messed up. But in the end, it won't completely destroy him. They're still somehow very resilient. Their survival rate is completely different, unlike Russians. So, yeah. And what I'm getting at, yes, well, of course, she just used him as a springboard. And today, basically, she doesn't really need him anymore. That's true. But on the other hand, it's basically a brand by now. I mean, maybe she's overestimating her options. Like, I'll find an oligarch now, I'll have this 5th, 30th child. Yes, right now, yes, right now. She might kind of hit a wall with these oligarchs. And it's quite possible that this successful formula will only work with her Djigan. That's the only thing. That she needs to have this 5th child with this Djigan and basically keep going down the same old path. But she's tired. But you shouldn't get tired. You just need to understand and change your attitude towards it. But I understand that it's very difficult to deal with a person whose motivation and willpower are at 0. So it's like this, just lying there like a paramecium, a house slipper. What else can you call them? Some kind of lump of fat. Yes, jelly, a jellyfish.
I don't want anything.
So, are you just going to sit at home?
Yes.
Well, actually, that's exactly what the kids accuse him of, that dad just lies around like, I don't even know, like a grandpa already. Even though he's a young man, he already acts like an old fart.
It's very hard to give him gifts. He doesn't have any hobbies. Even just take like mom, she has her farm and something else and something else.
He used to collect sneakers, so you could always give him one as a gift. And he doesn't have any hobbies.
So it's hard to judge, to say, but overall, if I were in her place, I think I would keep him, like just like some bottle you take a picture with, and that's my husband. I'm pretending to have a happy family. These are my 10 kids, after a C-section. Maybe I would act like that. Maybe I would be disgusted and feel nauseous. By the way, write in the comments how you would do it, what you would do. If you think about it, she knows how to handle these processes. She doesn't necessarily have to, so to speak, merge or synchronize completely. She knows how to live separately, but she kind of asks herself, what the hell would she need that for?
I'm tired, you know? I've been waiting for 17 years. Well,
But you haven't been waiting for 17 years.
you lived happily, hoping for a joyful life. I adapted daily. Do you understand?
But you lived happily, waiting for a happy life.
Yes, Oksana, you met her. You hoped for happiness.
You confirmed this in your posts.
You adapted. You adapted.
Everything is recorded.
No way. Yes, Oksana, who was here 17 years ago, and the one who is here today. These are two entirely different people.
Why should I support this piece of crap when I'm richer than he is now? But you don't know if you'll always be richer than he is now. You need to keep that interest. How? For some reason, that breakup happened. Maybe she even got a little infatuated with someone. Because most often, by the way, we've discussed this many times, when a family breaks up, there's usually someone who has appeared somewhere in the background. He might appear in your thoughts, he might show up in real life, but that someone is there somewhere, he figures in the picture, he's lingering somewhere. So she suddenly wants to jump into another seat like that. And it's as if that someone was there, he just passed by on the edge, then scratched his head and thought, oh damn, no, forget it. Why would I want 4 kids? Screw that. I don't want to. I don't know what to do with my kids, and I don't really fit in. She doesn't understand anymore and starts getting stuck in what? By the way, notice that it's not just her regression, but a kind of getting stuck. I mean, she's, 38 years old. She acts just like her daughter Ariella. It's like both are going through puberty. For Ariella, it's real puberty, but you're an adult. What's happening with you? No, she's stuck back there, in that time and place. And that's it. And she says in her hoodie, that's where she shut down. She just shut down. Let me go, I'm begging you. And there she is, sitting and sobbing. All that snot, those lips, everything is just pouring out, that hood. And this, well, I honestly felt secondhand embarrassment, really. I was looking at her and thinking, oh my God, what's wrong with you? Well, you have to somehow, I don't even know. I mean, this is the level, it's not even like Dom 2. It's like a schoolgirl level, and she herself admitted that she doesn't feel her own age. And really, she seems to have some kind of developmental delay. Based on her behavior, you could say she's about 15 or 16, but really more like 14. You know, it's like when I see her, it's as if there's something, I don't know, some kind of flaw or something. Like she's sitting somewhere over there with the teenagers. She's doing some kind of self-harm, making cuts, tattoos. They all go around acting like they're suffering. Well, what's going on there? So like, what now? Let's have a drink. It's something like that, like some kind of fool. So unserious. Well, okay, as for her taste, it's not really my style. I mean, for me, this look is rather, how should I say, well, kind of plain. These messy locks, this cut-off face that you can't even tell apart. And when you scroll through Instagram, you realize that every third girl looks like Samoilova herself. Samoilova, you know, but it's not even really Samoilova. It's all the same. This little pointy nose, those cheekbones. All of this, like a carbon copy, the big lips, yes, all of it. It's even hard to tell, to identify they're like clones. 10. Here are my favorite cuties. Well, let's take a look at some more. Now her relationship with her mother. Let's go over that too, it's quite interesting. Mother and daughter. Basically, she inherited this behavior from her mother because her mother also didn't emotionally connect with the child, and she doesn't act like a mother. She acts either like a friend or like her daughter, who is like, oh.
Oksanka, are they going to put those golden threads in for me, yeah? Oh, that's so cool. Oksana will buy this for me, right? Thank you, thank you. Oksanka, will they take me with them on the ship, yeah? Oh, that's great.
We're above the clouds celebrating your birthday, Mom. And on skis. And on skis. Oh.
Great, this is yours.
What do you mean?
Do you like the dog?
So, I mean, who are you? Are you the mother or who are you? Are you a lady in waiting, a friend, a daughter? Who are you? I mean, they completely mixed up some social roles. They switched these roles. Wait, you're not a friend. You're the mother, so act like a mother. And she's like, well, kind of, hey.
I'll get everything, and so will she, even all the way out here, to her own daughter, and to me, though I'm not sure what I am to her.
I mean, you can sense something like that. And she inherited the same thing from her mother in relation to her own children. Asha, she behaves with her children as if she's their friend, as if she's their sister. But you're not a friend or a sister, you're their mother. Yet here she is with Raella, standing like they're just friends. And that's why she only knows how to build relationships with babies. With babies, it's all very simple. It's all very instinctive. It's all extremely clear. So like she gave birth and it's all my sweet little one, so wet, so warm, so soft. But then she grows up and now she's a person and you have to interact with her. And then cold, narcissistic, distant relationships start to form. You go your own way and I'll just be your friend. We'll just be friends. That's it. That's why kids, of course, suffer. Actually, you can see that this family is mostly fake, but that's always been more or less obvious. And it's not that I believe it or don't believe it, it was obvious. Like, there are some problems, it's just that when the kids are little, it's not so noticeable. Now, yes, all these pimples are starting to burst, to break open, and the pus is flowing, and all of this is coming out, so to speak. We can all see it. So, my dears, of course, there are a lot of different things we could say, but overall we can see it. Let's give some more praise. Hardworking, bright, active, proactive, enterprising, brave, diligent. A high level of self-control. Yes, she tends to suppress her emotions. Yes, we've already discussed this, but overall she's a good girl. A good girl, yes. By the way, write about child exploitation. What do you think? I have a question for you. Do you put your children in the public eye, or do you give them a choice? Like, son, when you grow up and turn 18, you'll make this choice consciously on your own. Or not? Or are you pushing him everywhere the way they do with Nom Gnomik, poor Nom Gnomik? Well, Rudkovskaya takes everything very painfully. Rudkovskaya is such a litigious person. Actually, of course, we could discuss Rudkovskaya too, but I have concerns that you wouldn't really watch her much anyway. I don't need 100,000 views, you know. And also, by the way, on that note, you know, I feel a little hurt by you, to be honest. Actually, I'm a clinical psychologist, and I like to analyze things related to my field, yes, but as soon as I make a video for you about, I don't know, depression or something like that, it gets only 3 views. I mean, what the heck, guys? Are you going to watch this or not, or should I just keep making videos about Oksana Samoilova for you? Good grief. I'm tired of the Oksana Samoilova situation. It's embarrassing to keep getting involved repeatedly. Look, let's do this. Take a look. I had a video come out before this, where I was talking about good techniques. Psychotherapeutic ones. How to help yourself on your own. Because, well, that's just not right, not right, not right. So we've talked about codependency. We've talked about relationships with mom and with the kids. We've also talked about Deniska. In general, I probably missed something else, of course, as usual, as always. Well, she's prone to emotional burnout. That's what I can say, yes. Basically, her self-esteem is quite unstable. She definitely can't stand indifference. Just like those narcissists and histrionic types. Yes. Well, she's quite cynical and pragmatic. Yes, that's what we saw, so to speak, yes. So what? So what? And nothing. I'm happy to tell you that you can now find me not only on my Telegram channel, because many people complained that the Telegram channel doesn't work. You can also find me on VK and Boosty. Everything will be duplicated on Boosty and VK. That's why my psychotherapy group is now available on 3 platforms. It's duplicated everywhere. The price is the same and the information is the same. So you can choose whichever platform is most convenient for you to join my psychotherapy group. You can join through Telegram if that's more convenient for you. You can join this therapy group on Boosty if that's convenient for you, or you can join on VK if that's more comfortable. All the links will be down below in the description. And I can't wait to see you in our psychotherapy group, where we have incredibly interesting lessons every day. It's a monthly subscription for just a few pennies. 3.5 pennies. That's it, my dears. And I kiss and hug you tenderly. Write to me, my sweeties, and let me know what else we should review together. Yes, yes.